morning, friends. I wanted to come to you live this morning on Father's Day to share with you a story from the Bible that I think is a wonderful example of many of the virtues of fatherhood. And that story comes to us from Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 32. Many of you will know this story. Those of you who don't know this story, it is the story of the prodigal son. And this is it. I'm going to read it to you. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would have fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great away, his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran, and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his head, and shoes on his feet. And bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and now is found. And they began to be merry. Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came and drew nigh to the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said unto him, Thy brother is come, and thy father hath killed the fatted calf, because he hath received him safe and sound. And he answering said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment. And yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as thy son was come, which have devoured thy livings and harlots, and hast killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me. All that I have is yours. It was meet that we should make merry, and be glad, for this thy brother was dead, and is alive again, and was lost, and now is found. Now this story is one of, only a few in the Bible that's easy to understand. What we have here is two sons who went very different directions. The one son asked for his half of the inheritance, and he took off and went and squandered it on wild women and other such things. And the other son stayed with his father and worked in the fields, harvested, the bounty, and served his father in so many ways. But the father had essentially thought that the other son was dead and was lost to him. And imagine that pain, the pain of a father, to feel that he has lost a son. And so when the son returned, the father was just overwhelmed with joy. The son he had thought was gone and was dead unto him had returned. He was overwhelmed. And he did something that I mentioned in a Facebook post and on our website this morning that the Lord would have us to do. And that is to not say, I'm trying to think of the words, unjust words or things to our children, but to find the peace and joy in what we say with our children. And that's what this father did. He welcomed the son back into the fold. He would share more of what he had with his son. He was never going to make his son live as a servant. But the other brother, at first, didn't understand this because none of these things had been done for him. He had never been given a fatted calf. But the son didn't fully understand that he already had everything his father had. His father had literally given it all to him. So we see these same things in life, of course. So many broken families, and so often our families do not come back together. They don't reunite. And what this story tells us is that not only could we come back together as families, not only should we reunite as families, but we must. It's what God commands of us. It's who we are. If you believe that you should love thy neighbor as thyself, how can you not apply that to a member of your family as well? So on this Father's Day, I hope all of you are able to draw near your children. I know I will today. I've got one that lives off in Raleigh, North Carolina, that we'll FaceTime with later today. But I will have my family with me today, my children. And I hope you have the same. And if you can't have them with you, I hope you reach out to them. Don't be that parent that's sitting around waiting for your child to call you. All right? Reach out to your children. Let them know that no matter what, you are still their father. You are still there for them. And they can return anytime they want, no matter what they've done, no matter what their transgressions. You can welcome them back into the fold. So again, I wish all of you a wonderful Father's Day. I hope you have a great meal with family. Please share the peace of Jesus Christ with your children. That is one of the things God has commanded us to do. We are to teach our children about Him and His Son. So please take a moment to do that and pray for our country at this time of great crisis. And I hope you have a wonderful new year of fatherhood.